In this video, we are continuing from our previous one where we graphed our data using Excel. Now we're going to use Excel to do some calculations for us so that we can look at our means and decide if they are significantly different from each other. Now definitely there are statistical tests that can be done to give a true answer of whether these data are different from each other, but that is outside of the scope of this class. So we will use this test to give us a good idea whether we have a significant difference or not. Okay, so last time we had our three groups: control, drug 1, drug 2. We calculated percent controls and standard deviations. I'm going to select this data and I'm just going to move it over to my new table here, and I am going to just paste special just in case. Now notice I do have these number signs, and this only means that this cell is not big enough to display all the data. So I can double click on this line up here and it will automatically resize those cells for that data. The next step I want to do is find 1/2 standard deviation, and I'll show you how to have Excel do your math for you. So click on the cell, select equals, select the standard deviation divided by 2. So now Excel has done the math for you, and it has taken 15.94 divided by 2 to give you this 7.97. Next, we're going to take the mean plus 1/2 standard deviation. I'll select the cell, hit equals, select the mean plus 1/2 standard deviation, which we just calculated, and hit the enter key, and it's going to do the math for you. So this takes 100 plus 1/2 standard deviation was 7.97, and it gives us 107.97. Likewise, we'll take the mean, we'll select equals, the mean minus 1/2 standard deviation. Let's see, I feel like there's a mistake here, so let's try it again. So equals the mean minus 1/2 standard deviation. There we go, and we get 92.03. Okay, so now that I've done the first row, I can actually select copy, and I can actually select my other columns and hit paste. And we'll take a look at what happened here. Okay, if I look at my formula, equals P5 divided by 2. Okay, so that was, if I double click here, P5 is in the standard deviation right next to it, divided by 2. If I look at the next one, when I hit copy paste, it now says P6 divided by 2. And the next one says P7 divided by 2. So it moved the cells down 1. And all of the math is going to check out for us. All right, so now that we've done our calculations, we want to look at this overlap. Okay, what we are doing here is we are making a decision. Does the range of this data above and below the mean overlap with the range of this data above and below the mean for drug 1 and for drug 2? Okay, so the range of the data is 107.97 to 92.03. The data below here are it's not even the 90s range, or nor does it go as low as 107. So I would say that this data does not overlap. Likewise, again, this range is much higher than any of the others. So this does not overlap as well. And this one is much lower, right? The lowest value is 92, 129. The highest value here is 69. So I would say it does not overlap. So because we see no overlap here, then all three of these could most possibly be significantly different from one another based off of this test. Now let me give you an example of something that would be an overlap. Let's say we had a range of 104 to let's just say 83. Okay. This 104 would be the highest range of our hypothetical range of data. and it would fall above the lowest for the control. So in this case, there would be an overlap. Now you may need to think of this visually as well, because I know when I'm thinking of this, I am thinking of these error bars. And we had talked about if the error bars overlap, there's a possibility that this data is not significantly different from one another. And we saw in our graph here that really the error bars are not overlapping, right? Now, of course, the error bars are not showing us 1/2 standard deviation. They're showing us the full standard deviation, right? But when we're doing this test over here, it's kind of giving us that same kind of concept. Are these error bars overlapping? But it's not as stringent as looking at the full standard deviation. Now later, we'll be able to talk about statistical tests that will tell you 100% for sure, or pretty close to for sure, if you would know if drug 1 or drug 2 were statistically significantly different from the control. But this is a good way for us to kind of find out. So that's it for this video, and if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.